I think I just came out of a thought process about the whole like promiscuity. Um, like for women, like body count. It's bad for women to have a high body count. It's badish for a man to have a low body count. Just like watching porn is bad for both genders. It's not healthy for men, like at all. It's really bad. I think that is a big cause and part of men's issue. It kind of fucks with women's head. Porn does, but I think on the flip side, I think for men it's whatever if you do it, if you participate, if you're the porn star. But for women, I think porn just destroys you. And it makes you so numb, and gets your chemicals in your body, your hormones, your pheromones, all out of whack. Makes your pair bonding just shit. Um, so that's just my intake on the whole like body count because I know this is a big deep, and I mean depending on how like what level you're talking about, the promiscuity level between men and women on sexual interaction and intercourse between the genders. Depends on how you look at it, and from what angle you're looking at it, from a psychological, from a physical, from a spiritual. Um, if you're going on to religious morals, or if you're just going off of biological aspects. Um, so it's like coming at every angle of the topic and issue and problem that we have in society. At least one of the problems we have between the two genders. Um, but I really do think. I think honestly, the whole thing about how guys are more visual, and that's why you put on makeup and make you look this way, and then waking up to you is like a lie. And women are more like they like being told a story. Um, I think honestly those kind of flip flops where more guys are more about things and women are more about people. I think that's completely true. And I think those are like to understand the female nature and understand, like the male nature. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. Is like men understand the female nature, um, but we are just trying to have a conversation between the females to help understand that your guys' female nature, you guys are going a little overboard and you're being lied to, and you're causing problems for the status quo of life, and society and the last 100 years compared to what the last 1,000 years of men's BS. The last 100 years of female BS is pretty much the final nail in the coffin of society, from what it looks like. um, so I think we need to have a long conversation and put your feelings aside, ladies, and men, get off your high horse and ego. And women, toughen up that skin, and us guys will watch our wording and how we and our tone. Um, but you'll have to, work on your controlling issue on how the conversation goes, and make sure your feelings are in check and you don't take things so personally. Um, cause men have no problem, you know, being social and have a conversation. Um, a civilized conversation between two adults. It's the women. I'm sorry, but as soon as women have gotten opinions, you guys are allowed to make your own money and make decisions and live on your own without being married. You guys are just terrible. Alright? You guys make bad decisions. You make shitty choices. I'm 100% with Pearl. Hey, keep it down. I'm 100% with Pearl about taking away the female right to vote. Because, the whole feminist movement was about the right to vote, but men have and always have had to give up the right to, the draft, to sign up for the draft, that if the war happens, we will go fight in order to be given, the vote. And And I don't even think, I mean, if you go back further, I mean, you know, everyday Joe Blow was not allowed to vote on anything. I mean, we didn't have a right to vote for a while. But men still ruled the, you know, the land. And so I do think, like, you know, if you want to actually, like, but I don't think our society can do this whole 50-50 where every organization, but I mean, I can't remember where I was last at, but I know this has to do with pretty much the genders, and I wish we could have a conversation, you know, without all the hostility and the boss babe and the taking shit personally, and I mean, women. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but men make better decisions. Men are more logical. So, like, unfortunately, women are gonna need to be, you know, called out for shit and checked for shit. And that doesn't mean physical, alright? But you guys are the ones that need to be put back in line, alright? And stop looking at masculinity as a toxic thing. Because it takes, you know, masculinity to take care of masculinity. And if you look at all masculinity as toxic, then what? I mean, and you guys don't want to be ladies, and you guys all want to be like Mary Magdalene, pretty much, you know, and, you know, Betty Page, fucking of the fucking porn world, and you guys all want to be dressing like this and dressing like that, but yet you want us. We can't do that. Men can't do that. Like, we are. I would have to say we don't have a problem walking in the gray, but men are pretty black and white. You know, this or that. You know, like, we have two doors. We have 50-50 calculation at the best that we can. Should we do this or that? Do you want to go here or there? You know, this is my opinion. And if you want to give me your opinion, then, you know, like, be quick about it and be direct. You know, and articulate your thoughts on what you want to do, quick and with a fine manner. I don't have time to just sit here and just tell me a story that never ends. So I think I definitely think that women. I mean, men can be. I mean, and I'm not saying all men. I mean, but I do think women are the main issue, and if we can get women, I think, to understand the difference. I mean, because while we let men be men right now, and use them as a free example on, like, this is a simp, this is a beta, this is a fucktard. I mean, Myron, you know, and I mean, I don't remember the other guy's name, but Freshman Fit, you know, like, they school people in, like, you know, like this, like, you know, this is what men want. This is how, you know, how we are. The apex, you know, mindset, the authority, the dominating. I do, like, I was going over something like that, but now I just draw a blank. But I mean, women are trying to be the fuck boys and soy boys that they want, you know, and want to be, and thinking that's going to attract men. And then don't understand why it's not, and get mad that it's not, or particularly get mad that they can't force it that way. Because that's the one thing, like, you know, like, that women can't force particularly. You can't force a man, I mean, particularly a man that you want. All right, that you want. Trust me, you're not gonna be able to force him. All right, to be with you. Man, you want. There's a reason why you want him. So he's not gonna just choose, like, just be with you because you want him to be with you. I mean, the best way to do that is to give him a reason to see you in that light of his dream woman. So you were trying to make his dreams come true as well. Just like he's trying to make all your fantasies and dreams come true once he claims you. then at that point, it's your job to fucking stay in line. Because I mean, like, we're not gonna get things perfect. We're not gonna get things right every time. Um, but I do believe in the marriage of being like it's a sacrifice. It's a duty. It's playing the lottery. It's playing Russian roulette. Um, Sometimes a bullet goes off. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes shit happens. Um, right? But I mean, you stick it out. Um, and I do think women back in the day, that like that whole 85% of women that were virgins and all that. Because I'm gonna teach my girl. I'm gonna definitely teach my. One of the things I do will be teach my girls. That the best way for a woman to have any, I think, in my opinion, any form of power or leverage in a relationship is to one, be virgin, be young, and give your man what he wants. Because then he's not gonna have a reason to get rid of you. Because men don't look for a reason to get rid of you. But if one comes up, he's gonna start paying attention. Unfortunately, women look for reasons to leave you. They look for a reason to disqualify you. I agree with that one. Or they look for reasons to use you, or play you, or manipulate you. Like, it's not no, but like looking for a reason. Like, oh, there's a reason to choose you. No. I'm sorry. Women aren't. Women, I think it's one of these. Like, women get painted in this whole cute little lovey-dovey thing about like, he loves me, he loves you not, and thinking like, that's her, being, fascinated with you. But no, it's he loves me not. It's her, like, unfortunately, female nature of narcissistic, that have the world revolve around her. Unfortunately, it's not until she finds a man that is able to, in horse trading words, break her, claim her, and dominate her, which is pretty much, marrying her, or wiping her up, bedding her, and building a family, and giving her a foundation of security and all that she doesn't care what you do, because she's number one. And even back, like, I'm sorry, but even back then, like, I mean, especially nowadays, I mean, like, do not be. I mean, like, if I ever get up to status, well, this is how I'm going to teach my son, because, like, I want him to be something worth something, But, God, I just lost my plate. But, like, but yeah, that's the best way for my daughters to have any power or leverage. It has nothing to do with your status. It has nothing to do. I mean, it's good for a woman not to be known in a man's eye, or at least mine. I mean, I don't want you to be known to other men, and especially in certain ways. Just like I don't want my daughter to carry herself that way. It's not the same, and it's not the same level, and it's not looked upon the same if a man walks down that light. Unfortunately, it's just not. And you might not like it, and that's understandable, but it is what it is. But if you get, you get with a man. I mean, like, especially I think when I explained to my wife, that, my whole life, if I ever got status or not, it's like, I'm gonna have others. Right, period. But and want me to teach my son as well, because I want him to. That's where I left off. When he's making his money, I mean, he has his main one or whatever. Particularly, it's the main one for me. But don't come between, like, her, because she's not going anywhere unless, by her actions. I'm not playing this childish, like, one, I mean, if I ever did get him status, I might bring other people in our relationship, but women nowadays, honestly, are not. And by then, I mean, I'm gonna be even older, and I'm just not gonna have like the care. I mean, the women nowadays are not worth that whole. I mean, yeah, it's fun when you're younger, all the women and having threesomes and all that, and thinking about in the future about maybe having more. But it's not worth it. I mean, for me, honestly, I think the only reason that I would do it, is for more children. It's not to have sex with multiple women. I mean, I couldn't care less. It would be just pretty much to have more children. I mean, I already had a talk with her. If she by chance gets older and is not able to give me kids, how would she feel about me having kids with somebody else? Because I do think that is the women's job on the planet and duty and calling is to have kids. All right, it is men's duty, calling, and destiny or whatever to give kids. To have kids is just until they're dead, in my personal opinion. Um, but so I bring up my I'm 100% blunt and raw and honest with my wife. That is my wife. She is the mother of my two out of my four daughters and my first son. And to me, I'm very sentimental. That's it. So and she's been through a lot with me, and she's definitely a ride and die chick. Um, so she definitely has some street cred with me and some personal value that puts her, at a level that I don't wish to replace. Um, we have our issues, just like any relationship. We have our things that we're talking about. We're working on. But yeah, I would have to say that out of all the girls that I have either dated or messed around with, she's the best. In my opinion, she's my number one, definitely. But I mean, so I'm very blessed with that and talk blunt with her, and I definitely want my son to know that, and want daughters to know that they're allowed to speak to their men. If their man's having a problem with them just expressing their opinion the right way, then I'm gonna have a talk with him. Because as long as you, don't embarrass me and disrespect me out in public, bust my balls out in public. If you have a problem, bring it to me. We have a talk away from people, and we come to understand each other, and you express your opinion. Then then yeah, I will listen to you. I will hear you out. I mean, at least I don't know where it will go from there, but I will at least hear you out. So that you are never felt like I am going to ignore you. Like that your voice and feelings don't matter to me at all. Like, I mean, that's the biggest problem I have with like this whole gender war, is that if men were truly as bad as women think, all right, if we were really the boogeyman in your nightmares, do you really think the world would be the way it is? Like, truthfully, like, use some critical thinking, some logic, and think about that. That if men being, I'm sorry, more intelligent and more, way more physical and stronger than you, and we just care about sex and and didn't want to deal with your guys' fucking shit. Shit, we wouldn't have to spend money on you. We wouldn't have to listen to you nagging bitch, and we just get kids out of you. Like, because like with the science nowadays, you know, and this is gonna go a little dark, all right, but with the science we have nowadays, all right, we can just remove this part, remove the arms and legs, bust a nut, and keep this part all alive, um, and have kids, um, so like, you know, and honestly, with the whole like those chambers that were created, I mean, we don't. I mean, before it was a IVF or IVU, I think, where you had to you can buy sperm and get pregnant. So you don't need a man. But now we have wombs. So when is I think we can buy eggs. I don't know if you can actually buy a chick's eggs without their consent. But if you can, then we don't need women. And men can survive off $1,000 a month. All right, we don't need much. All right, and God, if we didn't have to put all this money and budget and care into worrying about your guys' makeup and fashion, your sports, your opinions, your thoughts, and we just gotta be us, gotta just be. And I mean, I guess women can earn their freedom, if they're willing to obey and listen and not bad talk, just don't mouth off, respect their husbands, then they're allowed, and a man wants to buy them or whatnot, or marry them. If you marry them right away, right when you buy them, then it's half off. But if you don't, it's double, and no, I mean, if men were really as bad as women want to think, just like this is just a little glimpse on one man's thought process. Can you imagine if we all got together and thought like this? There's nothing you're gonna do. I mean, we create everything, we build everything, we fix everything. You guys spend a shit ton of money. Like, we wouldn't be in debt. That money that we are given to the WNBA, all right, because we finance that money, and you guys are a net negative. Girls sports is a net negative every year. You guys make no money. Like, just imagine like that. Like this, we are not that bad, ladies. We really aren't. I mean, yes, there's some bad apples, all right, but majority of men are not bad. Now look in the mirror and tell me about your guys' history. All right, men know about our history. We know we have flaws, and the good men are trying to work on it. But when you're rounding up the good men, which there's more good men than bad, it kind of gets tiring to give a shit about what your guys' opinions are and your feelings are. But if you actually look at the females, majority of you are self-centered, egotistic, narcissistic, delusional, man-hating, feminist, 304, promiscuity, lying, manipulating, gaslighting, bullshit, cunts. Like the poor me victim shit. Like, oh, I'm oppressed, or women have been oppressed. Oh, we haven't been able to work. Like you, ladies, please tone the voice down. Tone the personal, emotional intelligence crap. All right, step back, think for a minute. Don't just react because of how it made you feel. Think about why it made you feel that way, and how it should have made you feel. All right, and then bring those together, and I think we'll get somewhere. Like, just because it's the words I use or the tone. What did I say? That was wrong. What did I say that was crossing the line? Because we are falling apart in a hole. And my son is crying. So you guys have a good one, and I'm ending this video after 24 minutes and 13